These are not just lakes. They are living giants, shaping landscapes, economies, and the destinies of millions. Cut to map animation showing Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario. Narrator: Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Together, they form the largest group of freshwater lakes on the planet, spanning more than 750 miles from west to east, covering an area larger than the entire United Kingdom. The birth of the Great Lakes. The story of the Great Lakes begins over 10,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age. Enormous glaciers, some over 2 miles thick, once blanketed the region. As the climate warmed, these glaciers began to retreat, carving deep basins into the land and filling them with meltwater. What remained after the ice melted were these 5 magnificent lakes, the remnants of a frozen past that sculpted the continent. Cut to geologist interview clip. Geologist: the Great Lakes are really time capsules. They tell us about the power of ice, water, and time, how the earth continually reshapes itself. A lifeline for nature and people. Footage of forests, wildlife, and shoreline towns. The Great Lakes became home to an incredible diversity of life. From lake trout and whitefish to bald eagles and beavers, entire ecosystems depend on these waters. But they're not just a refuge for wildlife. Over 40 million people, in both Canada and the US, rely on the Great Lakes for drinking water, transportation, energy, and recreation. Ships moving through the Great Lakes. St. Lawrence Seaway. The Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway, completed in 1959, linked these inland seas to the Atlantic Ocean, turning the region into one of the busiest freshwater shipping routes in the world. Iron ore, grain, coal, and manufactured goods move across this watery highway every day, fueling industries and connecting cities like Toronto, Chicago, Detroit, and Cleveland. The border that unites. Drone shots showing the US-Canada border crossing the lakes. The Great Lakes form not just a physical boundary between two nations, but a shared lifeline. From the rugged shores of Lake Superior in Ontario to the vibrant cityscape of Chicago on Lake Michigan, these waters connect cultures, economies, and histories. Cut to historical photos. Indigenous peoples were the first to navigate these waters: the Ojibwe, Huron-Wendat, and Haudenosaunee, who called the lakes the Shining Waters. For thousands of years, they used them for trade, food, and spiritual connection. Later came European explorers like Samuel de Champlain and René Robert Cavelier de La Salle, who used the lakes to explore the interior of North America, setting the stage for centuries of commerce and colonization. Challenges beneath the surface. Footage of polluted waters, invasive species, and dead fish. But the story of the Great Lakes isn't all calm waters. For decades, human activity has tested the resilience of these ecosystems. Pollution from industry and agriculture has contaminated waters once crystal clear. Invasive species like zebra mussels and sea lampreys threaten native fish populations. Cut to scientists speaking on conservation efforts. Scientists: we've made progress, banning toxic chemicals, restoring wetlands, and improving water treatment, but the Great Lakes are still vulnerable. They need constant protection. Climate change adds new pressure, warmer temperatures, rising water levels, and unpredictable storms are altering the natural rhythm of these lakes. The future of the Great Lake Youth Cleanup Projects, environmental scientists collecting samples across both Canada and the United States, people are coming together to preserve these waters for future generations. Binational agreements like the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement show that cooperation between nations can make a difference. Community projects, conservation programs, and education efforts are reigniting hope, reminding us that nature and humanity can thrive together. Closing scene: sunset over Lake Superior, waves rolling gently against the rocks. The Great Lakes are more than just bodies of water. They are storytellers, whispering the history of ice and fire, of people and progress, of nature and resilience. From the thunderous power of Niagara Falls to the silent depths of Superior, they remind us of our shared responsibility to protect the living heart of North America. Because as long as these lakes endure, so will the story of the land and the people who call it home. Title card: The Great Lakes, Canada and the US, bound by water, united by history.